what your DNA and your stuff is made of. What does this type of effort mean for someone like you and your colleagues and your friends that are on the front line? This effort that Tara is undertaking to really try to let's turn on the bright lights for individuals in our society who are doing the hard work like you. What does it mean to you?
I think what Tara has put together and the project that she is looking to get out there is such a phenomenal opportunity. And I believe the project represents so many things for myself and a lot of my other frontline and healthcare professional colleagues as well too. So I've never felt so much unity within my profession, and projects like this really support the notion that we're all in this together. I've never felt that our profession has been this close. And so something like this that is taking the voices, the stories, the tragedies, the triumphs from frontliners all across the entire world, I think it's such a special opportunity to share those stories and to get those voices out there too. And, you know, like I said before, as frontliners from different countries, we don't speak the same languages, but there's a lot of commonalities in the challenges and the success stories that we face. And reading and hearing about the stories of other nurses and frontliners across the world is empowering to our profession. And it's giving an equal voice and platform to everyone. And it shows, again, that no country, religion, or culture is immune to COVID. And for us to overcome this virus and this disease, we're going to have to do it together too. So I'm very thankful that Tara has taken this initiative to really get our voice out there. And like you said, I think a lot of nurses are very, very humble in their ways, and they don't often talk about the stories and their experiences. But the reality is that while a lot of people are staying indoors and staying at home, you know, we feel like we're walking towards a fire, whether it's going to a hospital or a clinic. We know that the COVID-19 virus is in a location that we are directly walking to and taking that elevator or the stairs and walking onto a unit where we know this virus is located, and everyone else is essentially staying away, which is what we need and what we want. But there's a lot of courage and a lot of bravery that I think is going unrecognized, and it's happening all across the world. So I'm very proud of Tara for this initiative, and I'm just so excited to see the final product and to help everyone get their voices out there.
You know what you said, Brennan, I think is the essence of it all, is that in our society, we should recognize that our healers like you are our heroes, because you are with families, you are with, in your case, the line that you were in, children, at the absolute most vulnerable point in a human being's life. And you are there, both literally and figuratively, holding their hands, nursing them back to health. And along with all of the medicine, along with all of the procedures, all of those types of clinical modalities, we know, and the science shows it, it's your heart and your soul that's being poured into those that you are serving. That's the difference maker. Like, if Tara's behind this, there's something much deeper, and it is this thread that our healers are our heroes. But would you be willing to share some insight on what is your day like, from when you wake up until whenever it is that you come home? And California, we know, like Florida, has been surging. Can you share what that's like?
So I'll start from the very beginning of COVID. And so even though the first confirmed case in the United States was in Washington State, we in California actually had the first case of COVID for a non-traveler, someone that had contracted the virus and wasn't on board a cruise ship or wasn't flown in from anywhere else too. So for a while, it almost felt, when we had that first confirmed case in my local county, and the cruise ships were sitting in the Bay Area docked, and there was confirmed cases on there, it almost felt like this dark cloud was kind of looming over us, and we were hearing about the stories that were taking place in other parts of the world. So I think there was an initial fear among healthcare providers and frontliners that I spoke to and that I worked with, And since then, we've been very well supported, very thankful to work for such a fantastic organization. But you can't help but not know every day when you wake up and you go to the hospital, just by virtue of rising numbers, is this potentially going to be the day that I'm going to be exposed to this? Your biggest fear is you don't want to spread COVID-19 to your peers, your patients that you care about, their families, and I think that's the biggest concern that we might have. And there's been some really challenging situations. The other day when I was working, we had a very difficult code situation first thing in the morning, and it was a patient who was a symptomatic teenager with COVID-like symptoms, and so we were still pending for results. And I saw the alarm go off, and it was a code blue call, and I ran over, and I was one of the first ones there, and my friend said, okay, this is a code blue. We don't have a pulse, and this patient's not breathing. And at that time, we do have surgical masks and visors as well too, but I didn't have time to quickly run and get an N95 for myself before I jumped in that room. It was almost a split-second decision of, do I quickly run and go get the N95, or do we start doing compressions and CPR right now? And for me, it was a quick announce, okay, we've got a code blue in this room. Could someone please go get me an N95? And then just jumped in there and started doing compressions, and were able to get the patient back after just under 2 minutes. But those are kind of some of the decisions and things that we're having to make, is dealing with that and walking into a room maybe a little bit vulnerable, and doing whatever we can to try and keep people alive. And that's a situation that you don't show up to work expecting to always experience. And just in a split second, your patients can decompensate, and you're having to deal with making those very difficult situations and choices too. So thankfully, the swab had come back negative for that patient, because for the rest of the day I was quite worried that I wonder if I'm going to get the COVID-19 virus now, and is this something that I might spread to other people around me, or families and patients. And I was very fortunate that it had come back negative. But again, that's just one small story for a whole lot of different situations and experiences that people are facing and are going to continue to face, especially with rising numbers here in the United States and across the world.
Brennan, thank you for sharing that. We would like to ask both of you to share some final words of wisdom. And I'm going to start with you, my friend Brennan.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to be with both of you guys here today. I really enjoyed it. And my final thoughts are, we are all in this together, frontliners and everyone in this entire country and across the world too. So we can overcome this. I know we will. Unity is such a strong thing, and a project like this is something that just empowers people. It gives us a positive perspective on an otherwise very difficult situation. And I hope that everyone is continuing to stay safe, stay home, and support one another. And a big hello to everyone back in Canada and my friends across the United States and all over the world too. So make the most of it, stay safe, and support your healthcare frontliners and everyone else out there doing a fantastic job to keep you all safe.
Thank you so much, Brennan. Thank you. Very, very moving words from you on the front line to all of us. And